All right, guys. Welcome to the thrilling conclusion of our watch party for Candyman. That was sweet. I'll iron out these kinks because this was fun to do. I would definitely like to do this again, but I want to make sure it's a little bit easier for us to chat, know where we're going, and be watching the movie at the exact same time and stuff like that. So I'll figure it out for the future. And if you have any suggestions, anything you liked, anything that was tough, let me know. But I would love to hear what you guys thought of that movie. It seemed like a lot of the people who were in the chat before the movie, like me, either hadn't seen it or hadn't seen it in a really long time, so didn't know what to expect. And I wonder how it lived up to your expectations now having seen it. For me, it was like totally different than I thought it was going to be. And by the way, I thought it was sweet. That was a good movie. I want to see the rest of them now. But I totally thought that it was kind of a classic slasher where somebody was, somebody had invoked the Candyman and now he's out and killing people. And maybe repeatedly they have to keep invoking him and keep doing mirror things and all that kind of stuff. But I wasn't expecting at all that it's like college researchers learning about him for a thesis and he ends up framing one of them for a bunch of murders and stuff like that. It was totally different than I thought, and I liked it. So I'm going to tell you guys some cool things about it now, and I'm going to look through this in real time because, like I said in the other video, I looked at some facts about the movie to talk about before we watched it, but I tried to kind of avoid spoilers for myself. So I haven't really read this in full yet, and I'm scrolling through an article from GameSpot that's called Candyman, 13 Things You Didn't Know About the Classic Original Horror Movie. So let me see. Some of these I already said. Sorry if you could hear my dog getting comfy. Little Crummy was figuring out where to settle down. All right, so the first thing on here is that the original story was set in Liverpool. It was originally a British thing, but I think Clive Barker is British, so that kind of makes sense. Hey, Will and Andrea. Yeah, it was cool, right? I thought it was fun, too. And yeah, it was totally different than I thought it was going to be. Let's see. Stuff that we said the same. Okay, so Will, when we were watching it, we ended up doing a chat during the movie in the Guides to the Unknown Facebook group, if you're watching this later, just so you know what we're talking about. So we ended up going over there and people were watching it at the same time and typing comments to each other and stuff. And Will pointed out that the woman who plays the main character, Helen's friend Bernadette, was in Silence of the Lambs. And it turns out she is now an acclaimed director. Her name is Cassie Lemons. And, she directed Harriet, which was up for a million Oscars last year. Interesting. All right, she's killing it. Yeah, Deb, no kidding, is better than watching CNN all night for sure. It was definitely a nice break from me, like, refreshing things and being freaked out. Yeah, I'm excited to watch the trailer for the new one now, Will, because I had no context for it before, but it just looked like even just without anything else, like, singularly by itself a good horror movie. And now I'm excited to know a little bit more of the lore that goes behind it. The baby in this was a boy, right? Didn't they say that the baby's name was Anthony or Anthony? So who's Candyman's daughter? Is Candyman's daughter? No, Candyman's daughter is a real thing. Because I know it's a thing that people were like, oh my God, Candyman's daughter is in the trailer. And obviously that she's sweet and she'll rot your teeth. Deb, the reboot's coming out sometime this year. I'm not sure. It's not like immediate, but it's coming. Although all movie release dates are kind of like pending stuff, so I'm not sure. Okay, there's a fact in here that I was wondering about. It's fact number 6 on this list is nearly everyone got stung by a bee. That scene towards the end where Candyman's mouth was full of bees and he kissed Virginia Madsen and there are bees all over her and bees all in his tummy and everywhere. I'm just going to straight up read this verbatim. Candyman can control bees and over 200,000 real honeybees were used while shooting the film. Crew members had to wear protective suits on set, but that didn't stop many stings during production. However, star Tony Todd cleverly turned this to his financial advantage. I negotiated a bonus of $1,000 for every sting during the bee scene, he told The Guardian, and I got stung 23 times. Everything that's worth making has to involve some sort of pain. Okay. I feel like that was like a semi-lighthearted anecdote at first. Like, yeah, I got $1,000 for everything. And then it ends with everything that's worth making involves some sort of pain. I'm not surprised to hear that. You could tell that they were real bees. Will commented in the chat over there, like, this is all going to be CGI in the new one, right? Because what the hell? Caitlin said maybe the daughters in the sequels, I've never seen them. I'm assuming so. I was just wondering if I was incorrect in thinking that baby was a boy and that was something, but I think you're right. I think it probably must be in the sequels. Deb says, I was watching with subtitles and it literally said scrunching noises when he planted his bee mouth on her in the worst French kiss. Ugh, absolutely worst ever. Let's see, Big Fire. Okay, Candyman cameos. This I came across when I was reading this before. There's a few cool cameos to watch for in Candyman. In one scene, Ted Raimi, the acting brother of Evil Dead director Sam Raimi, appears as a leather-clad bad boy who uses the legend of Candyman as an unlikely seduction technique. So in the beginning, when they were telling the story of Candyman for the first time, and they do kind of a flashback thing, that was Ted Raimi, which is pretty sweet. And Bernard Rose, who's the director of the movie himself, appears briefly as a university researcher named Archie in a dinner scene. Oh my god, was he that long-haired douchebag? Now I have to look this up on IMDb. Ugh, that guy was the worst. Let's see. All right, I'm looking for Archie in the cast. I can't tell, though. I think I have to Google Archie Candyman. I don't know what I was thinking. It's not like on IMDb, the picture for Bernard Rose is a picture of Archie from Candyman or whatever. Archie Candyman. Images. I don't know how I'm going to find this out. I guess it doesn't really matter, but that long-haired guy, if that was Archie, that guy stinks. And it's funny that the director played that role. All right, let's see what else here. They talked about this. So there's a little plot point about the music. And it's true, the music was awesome. Somebody in the chat mentioned that Helen's theme from it is really cool and that they had bought the sheet music for it. And mentioned that they hadn't thought about it since... or until it came up in American Horror Story Asylum. So I guess there must have been some sort of musical cue that harkened back to that music, which is understandable because it was so sweet. Let's see. It was done by Philip Glass. He's done a lot of movie scores, but Candyman is his only horror movie. Very good. Okay, this is interesting. Will says, the bee thing was wild. Kudos to them for going for it. And the storytelling and urban legends are incredible. Very fairy tale-ish. It was definitely very like urban fairy tale-ish to mash those things together. This is an interesting plot point that I saw before and I was like, don't read that till later. They say, Virginia Madsen was hypnotized for some scenes. In an interview to promote the movie, Rose described the sound of screaming that you hear in most horror movies as an effing horrible noise. Rose being the director, Bernard Rose. So he decided that Madsen's character Helen would instead enter a trance-like state whenever she encountered Candyman. To achieve realism in these scenes, Rose and Madsen went to see a professional hypnotist whose techniques Rose would then use to trigger her trances while shooting the movie. What? That's nuts. Yeah, Bernard Rose played Archie, but is Archie that long-haired guy? Like I think that there was in that scene where they were at dinner, I think there was Trevor, there was definitely a long-haired guy, and I was thinking there was maybe another guy who didn't suck as much, and maybe that's Archie. I really have no idea, but it could, I mean, it's a meaty role, so I could see why Bernard Rose would give himself that one. I liked that kind of trance-like thing that she had going on. I thought that was really unique, but could that really be like, my first off the cuff is that it's hard to imagine that you would be able to get into a deep enough state. I mean, I guess you would have to go that deep, but like get into an actual hypnotic state while you're on a movie set with all that crew around and the grips and the actors and everything. Like, that director would have to be really doing a doozy. So I wonder if Virginia Madsen was just like, yeah, you really got me there, Bernard, like whatever, and just kind of got the take. But I thought it was really unique rather than like screaming or whatever. It was like, I mean, I definitely understand how it was that she was entranced in some way, like he kind of put something on her. But I also think of it as maybe a shade of her being like so overwhelmed. It's almost like the system shut down. Like that was her reaction to fear in some sort of weird way. Will says the trances are bonkers. Yeah, Debbie said, yeah, it's really dedicated. Caitlin said you'd have to really trust that director. And Will said the trances are bonkers. He's saying what I said. I really did love the fact that she seemed overwhelmed with horror every time she saw Candyman. It was different and scary. Like in real life, you'd probably be so overloaded with fear to actually shout. It made Candyman imposing. Yeah, it's such a different reaction from every other scary guy. It's like, what does this guy have going on that makes him different? It's nutty. Let's see if there's anything else interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. Producers were worried about the racial themes. Candyman has a powerful social edge with the themes of racism and deprivation in the Black community forming the backdrop to the supernatural story. Rose states that the film's producers were worried about criticism over this and asked him to meet with the NAACP in advance of the film's release. Luckily, the group had no problem with it. What they said to me when they read the script was, "Why are we even having this meeting? You know, this is just good fun," Rose explained in a 1993 interview. Their argument was, why shouldn't a Black actor be a ghost? Why shouldn't a Black actor play Freddy Krueger or Hannibal Lecter? Yeah, I get that. You know, I think it's not for me to say, but I feel like it's probably good to have all people playing all kinds of roles rather than pigeonholing in either good or bad ways. Like, yeah. Let's see. Anything else just interesting here? No, nothing else really in this article. But yeah, really interesting movie. I can't believe I've seen it, but I can't believe I hadn't seen it as an adult. That was totally new to me. I don't remember any of that from when I was a kid, like whatsoever. Let's see. Yeah, Deb says, which is true, that she was kind of into him though, so she was always like scared and hot for the dude. He had power over her, very dark and twisted kind of thing. Yeah, I get that. I didn't feel like she was into him until kind of the end. And even then I was confused by it. I was like, oh, is she... Not that she was like happy about it, but I was like, I guess she's accepting her dark fate. And she was looking at him kind of moony-eyed. I guess before that, I just kind of always took it as some sort of overwhelm and enchantment, almost, basically. So Andrea says he was the long-haired sleaze. The director played that long-haired sleazy guy named Archie. Blah. Red Jack says, legit scariest slasher of all time. This is an actual horror movie. You know, I didn't find it that scary. I don't find a lot of horror movies like scary. I thought it was sweet though. It was definitely like one of the more thought-provoking. It's a much less simple premise than a lot of horror movies have. It's not as straightforward as like it's a guy with a hook who has a cool story and he's gonna come kill people. There's a lot more to it. It's really cool. Will says the class struggle is still timely, which is for sure. Yeah, Caitlin says, I'm looking forward to seeing a take on Candyman more fully planted inside the Black community rather than through the lens of a white woman. Yeah, that makes sense to me because I also don't know a ton about this, but I think that it's a movie that's kind of not like hugely important to the Black community, but like it's a thing. It's definitely like one of the few places that Black people have had prominent roles in horror. Like there's that sort of stereotype and joke about how the Black guy always gets killed first in horror things or a Black person. And it's completely true. And so to see Black people in this playing actual characters throughout, I think kind of sets it apart and makes it kind of a thing. But you're right, like I looked up who the director is while I was watching. I was like, oh, it's a white guy. The protagonist is a white woman. Like, it's interesting that this property that has a lot of Black importance started out this way, and it's probably going to be kind of cool to see it a little bit more fully integrated in the fourth movie. Yeah, Will feels the same way as me. He said he had no idea what he was expecting, but he wasn't that. It wasn't that. I know. Yeah, Deb's saying those moony eyes. And yeah, everybody is interested in the sequels now. Liv is. She says, I'm interested in the sequels, and I thought it was weird how Candyman was killed with fire, even though he's supernatural. Okay, yes, I put in the chat. There was a point where she found like a burning, thing of garbage or whatever, like a chair leg or something, and she like stuck it into Candyman's bee stomach. And it almost implied to me that that's like the way that you kill him. Like, oh, you found my kryptonite. Like, oh, bees hate fire or whatever. So I know it is really supernatural, but he still succumbed to like a physical, way of dying. But it's always hard to figure out how to kill those dudes. And he obviously comes back. Maybe it's, his form or something. I don't know. Yeah, he comes back, so there must be some sort of way. Oh, also, something I wanted to bring up. So he said that she was always with him. So I guess we're to understand from that she was, or at least this is what I thought the deal was, that, was he saying she was like the reincarnated form of the white woman who he had slept with back in the day and was killed over? And if so, could you think that she may have been drawn to urban legends and the story of Candyman because there was something subconscious in the back of her mind that knew there was something up with her and Candyman that was pulling her in? Is that like the deal, or is that just kind of a read of it or something? And then, yeah, that would color, obviously, like Deb was saying, her looking at him and being kind of entranced. Like if she's that reincarnated person, there is a part of her that, I don't know if they were in love. I can't remember if it was that they were in love with each other or whatever, but that has a connection to him. Let's see. Yeah, Will said maybe her fighting against him was also a symbolic act. She attacked him with a fiery stick, which wouldn't hurt a ghost, but it does indicate her desire to kill him and move past him. That is something. Red Jack says this is a great idea for a weekly, monthly feature. Hope you keep doing these. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep doing it for the time being. Like, I have some more time. I'm recently unemployed, and a lot of people are home right now, so it seems like kind of a cool thing for us to hang out together. Deb says, bees, fire, beekeepers use smoke. It all makes sense. Oh yeah, and Jake got his hook and buried it with her. Okay, so Will's saying he doesn't think she's like a reincarnation of that woman. It's that she's just some sort of proxy for that woman. That makes sense too. Oh yeah, I also like the idea that she is her own Candyman figure now. Like he said Helen into the mirror and she appeared with her Angelica hair from Rugrats, or lack thereof. I think her figure didn't have any hair whatsoever. Liv says, oh, also the bees swarmed out from the bonfire. That could be showing how Candyman didn't die or how he will be back. That makes a ton of sense. I bet you that's something. But yeah, I really liked the way that she popped up in the mirror afterward. I liked the way she looked. It was really, really sweet. Will said we need to find a good way to support you doing stuff like this, though. Yeah, I mean, this was a maiden voyage, and I really, really like it. But yeah, there's like stuff to figure out, but I like it. There's something here. It's really fun. It seems like you guys like it. Cool. I'm trying to think if I had any other thoughts. I'm actually going to look real quick at the chat that we had going to see if there's anything there that sparks anything. Excuse me, the bubbles. Oh, this isn't in the chat, but I just thought of it. Trevor's new girlfriend, who paints the place pink, she like really goes to town with the pink. That's not an accent wall. She's got it everywhere. Also, Trevor was a hot source of conversation in the chat. His outfits always got a comment, from me included. He was a lot. Ooh, Red Jack says, I wanted to see you do a live watch of the 2018 Suspiria. Absolutely. I haven't seen it. That's definitely one I've been meaning to watch. So that's a great idea. I'm definitely going to remember that. Will said about the bees kind of swarming out everywhere that it's also kind of like that blood cloud at the end of It Follows. Yeah, that's right. Does it indicate defeat or a new form of danger? A good question. But yeah, everybody's like, ugh, I hated that guy. Trevor sucks. I'm glad he got it. Hey, Christy. Yeah, Trevor, so something that was a little tricky for me, I don't know about you guys, still enjoyed it, fine. But I think I've talked about on the show, like, it's hard for me to multitask. So I'd be looking at the chat and I like kind of missed something going on in the movie or whatever. Was she committed for a year, did they say? Like, when she talked to that guy who Deb pointed out looked like George Costanza, did he say she'd been there for a year? Am I nuts? Because if so, like, not great, but it doesn't seem like Trevor's like the worst. Like if his wife was, and this might not even be the case, so I might just take it all back. If his wife was like incapacitated and not able to be present for a year, like, I kind of understand. I don't know. Maybe not moving in and stuff like that. A month. Okay. No. A month is too fast. Never mind. Trevor sucks. Give him the hook. Caitlin says, how do you attract two much younger, hotter women? Trevor's got that good. I mean, did you see him in that robe with the scarf-like towel, I assume, and his house shoes? Come on. Will said, committed for a month, but there were weird time issues. Her eye healed fast. Yes, that also came up in the chat. Like, one day her eye was humongous, like Will Smith and Hitch, and then the next day it was like pretty much flattened but red, which looked very cool. Yes, in sickness and in health. Allie's absolutely right. Let me see. Andrea, I'm glad you liked watching this way. It was fun. Caitlin says, Trevor was definitely banging Tracy when Helen was arrested the first time, though. You think? Was there like a... Do you just assume, or what? Did we see Tracy then? Did we see Tracy then? I don't remember. Oh, of course, bee honey is very healing, Deb. You're right. It probably healed that eye right up. All right, let's see what else we talked about. Will, what was Cenobite that you said in the in the chat? Also, just technical question. Did you guys have difficulty with the comments loading at all? Like, for a while, they were just loading, in chronological order, like boom, 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 going down. But then things were starting to be weird, and I had to go to my notifications and click on a new comment to, like, see it and refresh it, which was a little annoying for me. It could have just been me. My computer's acting a little bit weird. I think I have to bring it to the Genius boys at Apple. But was that a thing just on, like, a technical level? Oh, he didn't answer the phone when she called from prison because he was getting it? Ugh. Come on. Oh, Cenobites from Hellraiser? That's another gap and another thing that I definitely saw Hellraiser when I was younger. Like, older than when I saw Candyman. But, like a teenager or something. And it makes me feel gross when I think about it. I'm like, ugh, it's like a weird, gross movie. But it's probably worth giving another shot. Okay. All right, Will was saying that Helen at the end looked like a Cenobite. Oh, interesting. On the phone it was fine, but on the computer maybe it was tough. Huh. Okay, again, technical question. The people who had trouble with it, were you guys all on your computers? Because maybe that is a thing. And yeah, for next time Discord or something. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's tricky. It's just tricky to figure out the relationship and make it easy from going to these videos and then going to chat, and like, are these videos maybe not even super necessary since we're all chatting to each other anyway? I don't know. I gotta think about it a little bit. Liv says Hellraiser also makes her feel gross. Yeah, it's just like, ugh. All right, Caitlin said that she was on her phone and towards the end the notifications didn't come through right away. Yeah, I wonder if like Facebook gets overloaded or something like that. We'll figure something out. All right, guys. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have many other recap thoughts about this. But by all means, if anybody has any other plot points, yeah, the videos seem good. I think it's like a rallying point, makes it more of a thing maybe. So I think they probably are worth having. I'll figure some stuff out. Yeah, we can experiment with different venues, Will says. We'll figure it out. Will's a techno wizard. Yeah, people love Hellraiser, Deb. I know, like, my friend Meg loves Hellraiser. She gave me a signed picture of the guy whose name I always forget who plays Pinhead Doug something that we have over at old GTTU HQ at Will's house, a couple minutes away. I understand that it's like a thing and a Clive Barker thing. So that makes... Actually, I mean, no. It's one of those things where I'm like, that's why she looks like that. A Cenobite because of Hellraiser, but it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, super fun. I really enjoyed this. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. That's a good question. Where does Candyman rank for me among other horror icons? I think I have to sit with him for a little while. But let me think, because who are the horror icons off the top of my head? Ghostface, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Candyman, there's Freddy Krueger. Who's somebody else? Well, okay, right off the top, Freddy Krueger's the last. I don't care for that. Who else did I just say? Oh, man. I got lost. Well, Ghostface is number one for me forever. Then Michael Myers, The Shape, then Jason. God, didn't I say somebody besides? I don't really like Texas Chainsaw either. So now I'm going to say, then comes Candyman, Texas Chainsaw, and Freddy Krueger. So he comes in fourth out of 6 things that I just named for me. Jigsaw, ooh, crap. Jigsaw's before him. It might go Ghostface, Michael Myers. Jigsaw and Jason are a little tough for me. I really like the Saw movies. Having said that, I haven't seen them in a long time. Perhaps controversial, but in this moment, I would say Blair Witch. Yeah, no, I don't think she's like she is also, if we're talking about like horror figures, Ghostface and Blair Witch for me. But as far as like the killers and like slashers and everything, I wouldn't put her in there. But anyway, I think that Jigsaw ranks before Jason for me. Then Jason, Candyman, Texas Man, and Freddy Krueger. The original Pennywise. That's a good question. Do they belong in there? Yeah, I suppose he would belong in there. He would go... This is hard. By the way, give me your rankings and your thoughts. Go in the comments, give your rankings. They can be for whatever. You don't have to remember the exact bad guys I just said. My feelings about it are mixed. So, Pennywise is not high up there for me. Not the last. Or is he the last? Yeah, I like him more than I like Freddy Krueger, I guess. So, unsure. I'm trying to think, who else are some iconic horror baddies like that? I mean, Pinhead would be in there if I remembered Hellraiser at all, but I really, really don't. Yeah, Deb, you're totally right. We don't see her, but we do see her handiwork. And if I was at our Guides to the Unknown set, I could show you some of Will's handiwork making the Blair Witch Stickmen. Man, now I want to watch like a million movies. Can this become my job? Can I just watch movies and hang out with you guys and do Guides to the Unknown? Probably, right? I don't see why not. Um, but I mean, we will do this more. It's really sweet. And if you have any movie suggestions, then I'm all ears. Suspiria is a really good suggestion. I've seen the original Suspiria, I think only once, and I really liked it. And I did see, I was more of an adult when I saw that, but I don't remember it well. And I remember thinking the aesthetics of it were amazing, which I know is the thing about it. Like, it was like amazing looking. So I'm definitely curious about seeing the new one. I want to see um what's her name? Tilda Swinton in that old man makeup. Remember that? That like they didn't publicly say that it was Tilda Swinton. They like said, and like Jiminy Topo as the professor or whatever. And then you later found out that Jiminy Topo was Tilda Swinton in old man makeup. That was so nuts. Oh my God. I need to watch it just to be able to talk about that. Ooh, I'm seeing Will's ratings now. Okay, first there's Christy's ratings. Pennywise, Freddy, Jason, Michael. Good rankings. Rankings. Um, Will says Ghostface, Michael Myers, Jigsaw, Freddy. We are aligned so far. Oh, no. Freddy and Jason flipped for me. Anyway, Ghostface, Michael Myers, Jigsaw, Freddy, Chucky. That's right. Jason, Candyman, Leprechaun. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, Deb says, everybody up your Patreon pledges. Let's support this career. Like, genuinely, please. It sounds jokey, but please. Christy quit her job a couple weeks ago, too. Yeah, no, I'm already not there. Yeah, I want to watch movies and do cool things and tell you guys about them. But we'll do that either way. I like this ranking thing, though. Ooh, Samara. That's a good addition to the rankings, Andrea. Where would I stick Samara? It's hard to do. Well, why don't I write? I can write in the chat. I forgot. Okay, let me write my things. Mine are Ghost. You guys do this too. This is actually very fun. Ghostface. Michael. Oops. Michael Myers. Jigsaw. Jason. What were my things again? And I have to figure out where Samara goes in here. The Ring is totally sweet, but I don't think Samara is like super high for me. Probably somewhere in the middle. I may not have like seen it enough. Like The Ring isn't like super. A lot of these other things are like pretty integral to me as far as my movie tastes. And Samara, I've seen like a handful of times. Jason. Oh yeah, and then I went Candyman, Leatherface. Freddy shouldn't even be part of my rankings because I like have barely seen those movies. So I'm gonna leave Freddy out for me for now because that's kind of unfair. It's just me being grossed out by him from like things I've seen bits and pieces of. So now where would I put Samara in this? I guess it would go. It might go Candyman, Samara, Leatherface now. Is that true? At the moment, it's true. I'm gonna go Candyman, Samara, Leatherface. These are my rankings. Will said, wait, I'm getting a little lost. Yeah, The Ring is great. Everybody's saying like, oh my God, yes, love The Ring. I mean, The Ring does rule. Will says there's ranking software. I love to watch. You have to rank them over time or even do a tournament. March Madness horror villains. That's a cool idea. Deb says totally not really, but some good horror shows anyone loves. And Deb said Evil on NBC is really well done. I agree. I really like Evil. I started to rewatch Hannibal. I don't know if you've seen that or if anybody else has. It's on Amazon Prime right now. And I only rewatched the first one and then I just drifted away because there probably something was new on that I wanted to watch and there are a million TV shows. But Hannibal is great. If you haven't seen The Haunting of Hill House yet, that's amazing. Let me think. I've been watching Supernatural in drips and drabs, even more lately. I've made some real progress. I'm in like season 4 or something now. And that's really good. Hang on a second. So I started using Letterboxd, which is an app where you can keep track of movies that you want to watch, or you can give them ratings or whatever, and you can see what other people rate them. And also an app called TV Time that seems similar. I'm really just using both of them to remember movies and shows that I want to watch. Because, when you're like, oh, I know there's a thing I want to watch. I've been putting them in here lately. Letterboxd, I am actually tracking the movies I watch with, which is fun. So I can see how many I watched this year. But let me take a look at what shows I have saved on TV Time. Hey, Amber. Awesome. Yeah, I heard Lock and Key is good. Oh, yeah, duh, The Outsider. I loved The Outsider. Okay, Black Spot I've heard is good. I think it's a French show. I know it's not in English. And it's some sort of supernaturally thing. I have something written here, The Living and the Dead. I don't even know what that is. Oh, I started rewatching this show that was on ABC in the early 2000s called Happy Town. That's like really like weird and not necessarily that great, but it is spooky, so it's fun to watch. It's obviously not incredible because I watched like a couple episodes and I stopped watching, but I have it listed here, so I thought that I would mention it. The Order on Netflix. I've also not seen that, but I know that that's a spooky thing. Light as a Feather on Hulu. Same deal. I watched a couple episodes of that and I liked it, but apparently not enough. But I know a lot of people really like that. That's something that I would like to try to get back into. BuzzFeed Unsolved and BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural on YouTube are things that people like a lot. I think that's it. That's all I got on here. Okay. Yeah, Haunted. I love The Haunting of Hill House. Oh my God, is The Terror on Amazon Prime for free now? I've wanted to watch that so bad since the first season, but at the time we didn't have AMC or something like that. Oh man, that's great news, Caitlin, if that's something I could watch for free now. That rules. Yeah, The Wailing. I saw Amber said that that's a great, insane movie to put on your letterboxd. I'll do that right now. I think you shared that on like a Guide to Unknown Spooky Sound Off. I might have it on here already, actually, because of that. Alrighty. Yep, I do. Yeah, that's right, Carnival Row. I just saw that that's put on hold filming right now, so I think that the second season will take a little while, so you have some time to watch it, but you can get pumped for that. All right, buddies. Well, I think we're going to leave it here. This was awesome. Feel free to keep talking about Candyman in the Guides to the Unknown Facebook group. In case you don't know, it's facebook.com/group/GTTUpod. And this was really fun. We'll definitely do it again. Like I said, Will and I will figure out some ways to make it run a little bit more smoothly, but I think this was sweet. I think it was good. And let's see, I just don't want to leave Deb hanging because she asked a question. Was it called The Haunted or The Haunting on Netflix? It was allegedly a true haunting ghost show. It's scary as hell, but to the point I'm convinced they can't be true stories. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think it's, I don't know which one it is now, but I know what you're talking about. That did seem cool. All right, guys. I'll keep going forever if I keep looking at this stuff. But yeah, thank God they finished filming Bly Manor. I know. Okay, anyway. Sorry, it's a little chaotic, but thank you guys for hanging out. This was really fun. I hope it made your night a little bit more fun. And let's keep doing it and hanging out together while all this stuff is going on and find ways to focus on stuff that's like scary in the good way instead of scary in the scary way. So keep in touch. You know where to find me everywhere. We're Guides to the Unknown everywhere. Will and my podcast. I think everybody here knows that. And I'm at Chillin' Kristen. And feel free to talk about Candyman in the group. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. I keep looking and I'm like, yes, I know. Thank you. Thank you guys. Bye.